Okay.
I need this, I need that.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I need to be there.
I got a call from that lady a couple of weeks ago reminding me about Fairview. I had asked her to remind me.
Yeah. Yeah, I went, I got, yeah, I thought it was too. I got some of them.
It's 6:30. I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the March 8, 2022 regular meeting of Fairview Town Council. Did I start too soon?
That's okay.
At this time, I'm going to ask Elder Edwin Elam to have our invocation.
Let us all bow our heads. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, thou art God. We thank you for this opportunity to be able to say a prayer with the leadership of Fairview and all of those who are part and connected to this township. Dear God, bless the citizens, and as we bless each and every person who is even here tonight, from the least to the greatest, dear God, we're asking you to look out over this municipality, that you would bless all of its citizens, from every father, for every relative, for every daughter, every son, every wife, every spouse, and all that are kin. Bless the businesses, dear God, and even with our hearts, dear God, let us open up to those around the world in the Ukraine and pray for them, dear God, as they go through the turmoil that they're going through. And God, bless our country and bless our county. Bless the leadership of this county. And again, bless all the work that will be taken care of here tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and thank God.
Thank you.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move to agenda changes. I do have one item. I'd like to add item number 3, discuss and approve refreshments at the building walkthrough that the fire department is going to hold on March 19th.
And I wanted to add, with that, the thing that the Fairview School wants to do at the event.
Okay, you want to include that with items?
Sure, we can do it together.
Okay. Are there any other changes to the agenda? I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
A second.
All in favor? Okay, and the agenda is approved. Okay, we'll move to public comments.
There's none.
There is none. Oh, well, yeah, that's right.
You be the public.
Mr. Elam, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say to the Mayor Pro Tem, to the attorney, to the council members, to the town manager, to the clerk, to Ms. Balcom, who I've met over at Unionville, and to the entire staff. I want to say greetings to each of you. My name is Edwin Elam, and I'm a candidate for Union County Commissioner. I'm an ordained elder and on the staff at Elizabeth Missionary Baptist Church, which is where Bishop Oscar Gardine is the pastor. That's the church that's behind the big Baptist church there at the end. All right, you know where that. And I'm also licensed in life insurance in 26 states, and I'm a world-class business developer. I reside in Waxhaw, North Carolina with my wife, who actually wanted to move back to Waxhaw about 8 years ago. I didn't pick Waxhaw, I didn't pick Union County, I picked her. And she said she wanted to go back home and take care of the family property. We own about 20 acres there in Waxhaw. I'm a member of the Lions Club of Waxhaw. I'm also a member of Crime Stoppers as an associate board member of Crime Stoppers here in Union County. I'm a former GOP precinct chairman of 28, which is the Waxhaw Fire Department right there behind the post office in Waxhaw. I'm uniquely qualified for this job as county commissioner, I understand that the East has been underserved, and that was a mystery to me, coming from an underserved community myself. We understand that we need to give the attention to all of the county, as we should. I've heard comments around the county that we're probably the first statewide or countywide candidate that's been in these parts for quite a few years. And we count that an honor to be able to listen to each and every one of you with all of the challenges that may be here, and those things that we can help to work out and mitigate. I'm a former director of small business for the Memphis Chamber of Commerce. My job was mandated by then Governor Lamar Alexander, who at that time was the governor of Tennessee, Republican governor, who is also now a sitting U.S. Senator in Washington. That job changed my life. It put me on the world stage for getting things done. We have worked on the congressional record for both sides of the House because of the work that we did there. Those individuals who endowed our chair, there were companies like Federal Express who contributed to the Economic Development Department, Kimmons Wilson, Holiday Inn, A. Plow, Maybelline, Dr. Schultz Shoes, Fair Aspen, and Pitt Hyde, what you know today as AutoZone. We're quite skillful as a tactician to help you go on with your meeting. I just wanted to sum up my skill set to say this. If you know who MacGyver is, if you know who James Bond is, if you know who John Wick, if you know who Denzel as Equalizer, John Shaft, or Jack Reacher, I'm the guy they call when those guys can't get it done. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? And consent agenda is approved. Move to items of business. Item number 1, discuss text amendment TC 22-005 regarding Fairview Land Use Ordinance Section 113 AD.
First of all, I would like to say that there's a crowd here that I wore my suspenders tonight in honor of Joe Biden. Many times he wore them. I always admired him wearing them, so I got me some. So we were built about the same way. Maybe it has something to do with it. This text amendment was brought to our attention by the new attorney. I don't know exactly how it came about, but she was reading our ordinance in this particular section, section 113, which has to do with how we deliver our code enforcement notices. And she seemed to think that the law had changed. I have not caught it, she caught it. But in A, as you can see, she wants to add by personal delivery, electronic delivery, or first-class mail. To make it very clear that now a code enforcement can be emailed and it be legitimately a code enforcement violation. And also add number B, the person providing the notice of violation shall certify to the local government that the notice was provided. That would be me. And the certificate shall be deemed conclusive in the absence of fraud. Not so sure I know exactly what that means. If somebody thinks there's fraud in the delivery of the code enforcement, that me stating that I delivered it to you would be held up in court.
Question, that statement in red there, does that mean either one of those three or all three?
Either one.
Either one, okay.
What about second?
Usually we do it by mail.
The second paragraph there, is that supposed to be B or D?
B. I caught that when I, B.
It's supposed to be D. There is
It is D?
there is an A, B, and C, and we added D.
D.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a D.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't a
I
typo.
caught that too when I looked down and said A, D. I thought, well, you know, but.
Yeah, because it took me forever to get that working right.
So in D, you're the person,
That is correct.
and how are you certifying to, the local government would be the town council. How will you certify to us that it's been
I prove it to you that I mailed it or emailed it.
Okay.
You know, and that's,
I'm just, it's just the way it reads, it says you've got to certify to us. that you're not.
If you copy us on it, then we would
my
know it.
email, I could copy.
Something, yeah.
Just make sure that
Stay
you
with
know
it.
about it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think the key is that y'all know what code enforcement is.
Okay. Makes sense.
A motion to change that in the ordinance. A text amendment does not have a planning board recommendation because it is approved by you, and not recommended by me. So,
Any questions for Ed? Okay, I'll open the public hearing at this time. And we have no public comments, so I'll close the public hearing. And open the floor for a motion or any further discussion. Motion to include the following zoning statement also.
Can I make a motion to approve? Will include the proposed zoning amendment under consideration is found to be reasonable and consistent with the recommendations of the town's adopted comprehensive plan, the town of Fairview land use plan, revised November 11, 2018, and the town of Fairview land use ordinance effective 1 July 2005.
That is text amendment TC 22-005.
Okay, I'm sorry, I failed it. Okay. Well, text amendment TC 22-05 Fairview land use ordinance section 113 Alpha Delta.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? And the motion carries. Thank you, Ed. Second item is to approve the 2022 audit contract with J.B. Watson and Company. Daryl?
Well, I didn't get any other quotes, but they've done a good job for us, I think, the last few years. And they're timely now after the first year. And it did go up about 5% to increased audit requirements by the state, and then also a little bit for inflation. So I recommend we continue to go with J.B. Watson.
Looks like the contract's basically the same as we signed in the past, isn't it?
It doesn't vary much at all.
Okay. Any discussion on the contract? Not, I'll open the floor for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to renew the contract with J.B. Watson and Company, PLLC, for our audit this year.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? And the motion carries. Item number 3, discuss or approve refreshments at the building walkthrough on March the 19th. There was some discussion with the fire department about whether or not they wanted to serve hot dogs and drinks at the building walkthrough. They decided not to do that, so I wanted to talk with council tonight about whether or not we wanted to do that. We're going to open the town hall so that there'll be bathrooms on that day. And I know I've talked to a couple of you about the crowds to be expected. I personally think there's going to be a large crowd here. So I think the question is, do we want to do refreshments? If so, what do we want to do? Do we want to go hot dogs, which might be a bit much, or drinks and chips or something like that? So I'll just like to hear everyone's opinion.
If you go with hot dogs or something like that, it's going to require a lot of work. I doubt I'll be able to help because Saturday's usually one of my worst days. So.
So I've talked to a couple guys today after you and I talked, and I don't have it confirmed yet, but I've got a group of guys that would like to get involved to do hot dogs and serve and all that. But I want to throw something out that they want to do. I don't know if y'all know, there's a pretty large contingent of Ukrainian children going to Fairview Elementary today. We actually have a neighbor in our neighborhood who's from Ukraine. The group that I talked to today will provide, we talked about it, we would provide the hot dogs and all the stuff for free, and then ask for donations, and they would like to have the donations go to the Samaritan Purse for your Ukrainian relief. I've got to confirm, it's not confirmed yet, but that was the direction that they would like to go, if the council would go with that.
What do you think?
Oh,
Well, it would have to be them asking for donations, I think, rather than us, because of the way the funds
This is
are.
not us, this is them, right?
Yeah,
This is
them asking
They'll
for
have a
donations.
table, they'll have a sign.
I thought you said we asked for the
No,
donations.
this is them.
Teresa May, she's checked on the permit.
Yeah, so that's the whole other thing too, is what we have to do with that.
Well, I've already got a permit, with us being the nonprofit that will be providing this. But if we are providing food, then we can just have them do it for us. As long as they're not a food vendor themselves.
This is just a group of guys
Group of
that want to
guys,
get
okay.
involved.
We can just, let them be our volunteers to do this, and they can set up their little donation bucket.
Okay.
As long as it's just donations and we're not,
Yeah, they're just gonna have a sign,
Right.
food for free, but donations for Samaritan Purse. That was their fault.
And the town is paying for the food?
But we're,
It's all donated to.
the guys and I talked about it, we'd all pay for the food and everything.
Who would?
The guys, not all
That group.
Our group, yeah.
well, when you said we thought we.
We as in the group of guys that I'm involved with, would pay, we will cover, we as in, not the town. How's that? It's not gonna cost the town anything, if we can pull it off. We've got some logistics we've gotta work on, and should be able to confirm it in the next day or two. They offered that up, which I thought was since everything's related to the school, I thought that would be maybe a good thing to do.
Yeah.
If your group is going to do hot dogs, does that still leave a need for drinks and
We would do it all.
chips?
Our whole group we provide anything for, just like if you did it at the park, we'd have the hot dogs, drinks. Probably limit on the drinks, maybe just waters or something to keep it simple. But hot dogs and chips and water. How's that?
If it's free, can't nobody say nothing.
You need a
I
motion?
just asked for donations too.
And we'd have a sign that say, donation, just donations for Samaritan's Purse, your Ukrainian relief effort. That was their thought when we talked about it today.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
I have no problem with that.
All right, so what I'll do, it's on a back plan. I will confirm this in the next 2 days. If that doesn't work, then what we could do is, if I can't get enough volunteers that's the key, get enough volunteers to man it. They also agreed that they would, if that doesn't work, we would basically pay for any refreshments that the town wanted to get. We would pay for that. And also still like to do the donations. So in other words, the town won't have to pay any money. We'll pay for whatever it is, refreshments, whether it's just something, small refreshments, or if it's the full-blown hot dogs. We'll cover all those expenses, because we don't want to use any money that would go to the relief effort.
Right.
So either way, it'll be one or the other. If we can get enough volunteers, we'll do the full-blown hot dogs and chips and all that. If not, we just do some small refreshments, but still like to have a donation area for the relief effort.
Right.
So in other words, you're gonna handle refreshments.
We'll handle
So
it,
that's done.
yeah. Hey, we just have to make a decision of, the problem is getting enough volunteers to come and man this thing. If we can't get enough, if it's limited on the volunteers, we'll scale it back, still handle all the refreshments, pay for them ourselves, and still do the donation stuff.
Okay.
So if you are okay, we'll take it from there, one or the other.
Personally, I'm fine with it. And as far as the donations go, I wouldn't mind contributing personally to that, to the donation as well.
Does that need to be a motion?
Yeah. I think it should be.
I would make a motion that if John is able to confirm with his friends that food and whatever refreshments they decide upon for the old Fairview School walkthrough, if that can be approved, if that can be agreed upon, I move that we approve their efforts for Saturday, March 19th.
I'm for it. I was just ready to vote.
Any other discussion?
I didn't include anything about the donations.
Oh.
Does that need to be?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? And the motion carries. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, good. I'm glad y'all, we've just, like I said, we've got some neighbor, it's a couple guys in the neighborhood. We've got a neighbor whose whole family is still trapped in Ukraine and been talking to him about it. And then I do know there's several kids that are from there. So we thought it'd be nice to support the local Ukrainian community.
Right. I think a lot of those kids, a lot of those houses on West Duncan are Ukrainian, aren't they?
Unionville has a huge population.
Maybe Ukrainian church.
Yeah, church. So there's a lot of Ukrainian Russian people here in the community.
Yeah, we have a Hispanic international ministry at our church. We have a group of people, and that includes, I know it includes some Russians and Hispanics. I think there's Ukrainians in that group as well.
The second item is that the Fairview School came to me through my wife. It's normally how that works. But they found an old drawing of the original school. And we don't know, I'm gonna find out more about the artist. It's a William, and we were trying to figure it out. It's a William Brewer or something like that. I don't know who this is. But they actually have, this is a copy. They actually have several hundred of these that somehow the current school has them. And so the school, Fairview Elementary School, would like to be able to come to the event and have a table. They would man it. It would be the administrative group at the school. And they would like to sell this, and the money would go to the Fairview School itself, and to their PTA or whatever it is, something. PTO. It would go into that group. But they would basically have their own booth or whatever they bring. We'd get them a table or something. I thought, what a neat idea. The new school selling these as the old school is kind of going through its transition. So they asked to bring that up today, see if the town would allow them to do that.
I think it's a great idea, personally.
It is a print. I believe, surely he didn't do hundreds of these. It's got to be a print, but it's on some really, I'll pass it around, it's really on a heavy bound paper. We're gonna actually take that one and get it framed. I thought it'd be a neat thing to have. I just think a lot of people are gonna be coming through that actually went to this school, and it would be something nice for them to take away.
If you get one for us,
Yeah.
Can put it here.
For a donation, sure. Matter of fact, this could be yours for the right price.
I was just gonna say.
I'll sell it for you if you want me to.
Did they say how much they were gonna sell them for?
$10.
It's neat.
That would you frame it?
I'm amazed they had them.
It would cost way more than $10.
They did it at the school years ago. That's how they had
Tell
them.
me, yeah, minus.
Do you know if there are any copyright issues?
I don't know. I can double check with them, but they've already done this once years ago at the school, sold them at the school.
I would think with the artist's name in there, that it
Well, I don't see anything on there that indicates that it is copyrighted.
Yeah, or that it's like number 4 of 200.
Well, you'd think
something
it
like
would
that.
be the school's property regardless who drove it. They drew it for us.
Do we need, I think we probably need a motion on that.
We may have to set that up on our side.
Well, yes, all this should be set up on our
Yeah,
side
since this is technically
because
they're doing, we need to do our part
I agree.
over here on this side. So they can't say anything.
I make a motion with that the Fairview Elementary School set up a booth at the Fairview walkthrough to fundraise by selling the prints from the old school.
So we got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Who seconded that?
Okay, we'll move to council comments. Gary, do you have anything?
No.
Patricia?
I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but one of the committees that I serve on that I sort of represent this end of the county has to do with health issues. And I think every 5 years, they are responsible for doing a health assessment survey. This is how they know what people are thinking, what the needs are, what services are being provided, and maybe what needs to be provided that's not. And if you all are willing, I'd like for you to take a survey for yourself and your spouse. There are 2 surveys, adults 18 and over, teenagers 13 through 17. And if you're willing to fill one out, it takes about 20 minutes. It's mostly your opinions about different things.
And where does that information go?
It goes to Health and Human Services.
County.
County, yes. And I'll be happy to return those for you. It has to be completed by the end of this month. And if anybody's interested in going online, you can scan this code and do it online if you don't want to do the pencil.
I'll be glad to. Anything else?
I think that's all.
John?
No.
Jerry?
Yeah, I've got one problem at the park, and hopefully somebody's at home watching this tonight. I'm having a lot of problems with the rock. We put the white rock around the restroom area and the shrubs there. It was a beautiful thing when it was there. But I'm having a lot of problem with the kids getting the rock and throwing them on the sidewalk. I went over the other morning, and the worst it's been, I bet I could have got up a pick bucket of rock off the walkway, the handicap walk, and the area under the shed going into the ladies' bathroom. This can be very serious problem for somebody, for a walker. If you've ever pushed a grocery cart in a grocery store and hit something, a piece of cardboard or something, you know how it throws you forward. This could cause some serious damage to an elderly person or a young person that's having to use a walker, because that walker's going to stop. And if they got much forward motion, and most people lean on the walker a little bit, they could go over it or fall and get hurt seriously. So if anybody's out there and they see any kids out there playing with them rock, I mean, they just pile them up or throw them in there, and they sum up there just about every day. And some days it's real bad, and some days it's not. But that's something we're gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have them rock covered with mulch as soon as we have our field day and clean up this year. It's pretty, but it's more dangerous the way it's been treated. And rock thrown out in the grass. Fortunately, those stones are small enough that the mower's gonna ride above them because they're clearing the grass high enough. But if a mower would ever hit one of them things, it could do some serious damage to an individual if it slung it into them. That's all I've got.
Okay. Just a reminder that we've got the planning retreat this Saturday. What time's that start?
9.
9? Okay.
Figure out it's in the middle of the day. Is that too early, Joe?
No, can we start early? Well, that's great, I mean, 9's fine, but we're starting at 8?
8.
Well, can he come at 8? Is we have a facilitator or?
No,
I mean,
just
okay,
us.
well then, I mean, is anybody against starting earlier?
I have no problem.
Now, this is a selfish thing on my part. I'm trying to get my daughter ready to move to Florida, so I've got a task list that I gotta, as soon as I'm out here, I gotta start walking and stuff. So apologize.
So 8 o'clock, so what is?
8?
It's up to y'all.
You bringing coffee?
Yes, we'll have your snacks for you.
I open the park at 7, we can start right after that.
Don't eat breakfast. I'm gonna do a cookie tray, a Danish,
So gas.
and muffin tray,
Yeah.
and a fruit tray.
8 o'clock? Work for everyone? Let's do it at 8 then.
Thank you.
The contract for the park grant, I did sign that on Saturday. So hopefully we'll get that money within the next little while. The scope of work that I sent in, I estimated we'd complete it August of 2023. That might be a little bit aggressive, but we can adjust that. Still have not received the contract for the town hall grant. So Daryl's checking on that, to see what the holdup is. That scope of work actually went in before the park, so I'm not sure. That's administered by 2 separate parts of the state, so that might be part of the issue there. Also, we got the elected officials reception on March 24th from 5:30 to 7. I've already registered. That'll be at South Piedmont. Just as a matter of information, there could be a quorum there if there are 3 of us or more, but we won't discuss any business or make any decisions. That's just a reception, elected officials reception. I think everybody got an email on that, on registering for that, but if you haven't, you can go to the Chamber of Commerce website. That's all I've got, so I'll entertain a motion to
Hold
adjourn.
on, one more thing. The
Easter egg.
Easter egg,
Is April the 9th from 10 until 12.
From when to when?
from 10 until 12,
Okay.
Easter egg festival, 10 to
Or
12.
Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg hunt. One, infants to 5th grade, 6th grade,
Fifth,
Yeah.
sixth
kind of,
grade,
sort of.
ending there, starting pre-K, no baskets. If you have a grandkid that's coming, tell them no baskets.
They will be getting a carton to put their eggs in.
Okay.
And they will be able to take their eggs home this time, though. They're gonna have a little treat in them. They only get 12.
And hopefully Mayor will open us up.
I'll be glad to.
I've got one thing I want to add. Ask Lisa if she would like to have a mechanical bull at the festival in October. I've got access to one.
She thought you were talking about the Easter egg.
No, this, I need to line it up if we're gonna do it, so I can get him scheduled for it, because his kids ride bulls, the rodeo circuit. So he'd have to make sure he got it set up
Will
on
it
his
cost?
head. Huh?
Will it cost?
Either way, he'll either do it free and us pay him an amount. And I can't remember exactly what it was. I have to get that. Or he would do it and charge individual fee for everybody to ride.
Is this for kids or is this for adults?
It could be for anybody that's, they can ride him slow or they can ride him fast, yeah.
Is there any liability to the town?
He would carry his insurance. I thought this might be, if they had it, might be a good idea. We could get, put our mayor up and challenge all the other mayors.
I'd pay to see that.
That might bring a crowd.
I pay not to do it.
That would be better than that.
I'm doing that, not to do that.
Anyone else have anything? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Sure.